So, nearby everybody.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hello.
The entire crew's in the office for Shillfest. We think it's fair to say that Zack Snyder's vision for the DC Extended Universe has had a mixed reception, to be diplomatic. Is that accurate, you think?
Yeah, to not be diplomatic, it was shit.
Why would you do that, Lucas? You woke up and chose violence today. With much of the criticism levied against Snyder revolving around the fact he's seemingly unfamiliar with the characters he's making movies about, and that his directing style is about as unsubtle as a cast iron sledgehammer to the balls. Something that's no better epitomised than by the fact that Zack Snyder has gone on record as saying he wanted to shoot Superman's best friend in the face for fun.
Bit harsh.
Discuss.
Bit harsh.
Bit harsh. So, first of all, who's Superman's best friend?
Jimmy the Timmy.
That's the one. Jimmy Olsen. Jimmy Olsen. And did you know that Jimmy Olsen is in Batman vs Superman?
Unfortunately, I do know this, and he's like essentially nameless reporter number one.
Yeah, he's the guy who gets his head blown off in the first 30 seconds of the movie. And the fact that he's Jimmy Olsen is something a lot of fans of the film and the series didn't even know, because he's only named in the credits. And has so little screen time that when I was looking for a picture of like Jimmy Olsen in the Snyderverse, like the gun that shoots his head off is in the frame on the wiki entry for him. It's like, so the gun that kills him has almost as much screen time as he does. And here's the thing, it's like Jimmy Olsen in the comics is Superman's best friend, and he's the source of much comic relief, which I think like the Snyderverse desperately needed. Like there is no levity at all in that universe. It is so dour and cynical, and every aspect of it is just horribly depressing and dark.
I can't stop picturing the Pit of Skulls.
The Pit of Skulls. Like I was in the cinema watching Man of Steel, and a kid started crying.
That's how you know it's mature.
The kid doesn't understand.
I'm not kidding. Like a kid legitimately started crying because like they thought Superman was dying because he's drowning in skulls.
No!
He started crying because he didn't understand Zack Snyder's vision.
No, he was crying because he did. That's whenever I think, and I see people defending Snyder's vision, I always think that kid crying is like, well, that kid doesn't have a Superman. I grew up with a Superman. I had like animated Superman. I had Lois and Clark Superman. Probably people a bit younger than us will have like Brandon Routh Superman. Superman Returns. Kids like born like 10, 15 years old, they don't have a Superman. They have screaming man dying in a pit of skulls and snapping a guy's neck as a child is like watching a city get lasered in half.
You also forgot weird lip Henry Cavill Superman.
Oh man.
Superman, can we ask you some questions? A full podcast.
Well, in that case.
But to be fair though, that's the truest Superman of all. That's my Superman.
That's the joke I made. It's the only part of the movie that's vertical.
So do you want to explain that then? Because like Brad, behind the scenes you were really mad about the
I
explanation.
was ranting so much.
Okay, so to clarify, the Snyder cut of Justice League is in 4:3 because Snyder says it's more cinematic, and a quote that we saw in defense of it from one of his fans is, that's all that the camera captures, and Snyder wanted to show us all the camera captured. And then you got super mad about the idea of like, but you edit for the format that you're going to be releasing on, which is like 16:9 screens because it was released on streaming services.
It was never released in an IMAX cinema, despite being shot for IMAX.
He had an advantage because everyone else has to make their films for cinema and for when like DVD releases and streaming platforms.
Exclusive of streaming. And the other defense of it from Snyder himself is like, well, comics are an inherently vertical medium. And I remember when I said that and Lucas went, fuck off. Which I think it was one of you guys just went, well, realistically then, that scene at the start of like Joss Whedon's Justice League is the most in keeping with Snyder's vision because it's so much more vertical.
Does your thing really stand for hope?
Yes, it does.
But it looks like an S.
Yes, it's meant to.
What does that symbol on your chest mean? It means hope. Ah, skull!
Maybe we should have just let the children die.
Oh, that's my favourite one. That's I think just the best line. Because every single time I see like weird salty Snyder fanboys being like, you just don't get it. And it's like, remember when Pa Kent told Superman to let children die? That's not what he said, and it's literally what he says.
What was I supposed to do? Just let him die?
Maybe.
The thing that annoys me the most about Pa Kent is the scene where he dies. Henry Cavill Superman's like, I can go and save him, and he's like, no, don't. Why couldn't he just run over and grab him and just be like, oh, it's because I'm human, but I just did it normally? Why would saving him mean he was a Superman?
Would it surprise you to learn that that's not how Superman's dad dies in almost any other adaptation?
I think he has a heart attack.
He dies of a heart attack, which teaches Superman, even with all your power, you can't save everybody, which is a very good lesson for Superman to learn, and a much better lesson than let children die. Let them drown! Fuck them! Bringing it back to that cameo, the most blink and you'd miss it cameo of any character in history. Would it surprise you to learn that Jimmy Olsen was going to play a larger role in that movie? And that he wasn't originally going to be played by the actor, and I've got his name right here, Michael Cassidy. He was going to be played by somebody else.
You're asking us if it's surprising that a character called Jimmy Olsen in a Superman movie was supposed to have a bigger part?
Yes.
No.
And I'd like you now to guess who was going to play Jimmy Olsen. I'll give you a clue. They are already in the movie. It's someone who has been widely criticised as being woefully miscast.
Oh, Jesse Eisenberg.
Yes. Jesse Eisenberg was supposed to play Jimmy Olsen. He'd be a great Jimmy Olsen. He'd be a great guy, like, following Superman around, like, in the office, talking to him about, like, oh, so you're going to ask Lois Lane on a date, that sort of thing. Like, but he's a terrible fucking Lex Luthor. He's an awful Lex Luthor.
Did you not like him putting, like, Jolly Ranchers in people's mouths?
Or pissing in a jar. When I think Lex Luthor, I think pissing in a jar. Can you imagine Lex Luthor from the cartoons doing that? The thing is, though, like, Lex Luthor from the cartoons is top tier Lex Luthor, because, like, I remember I was just like, I want to rewatch some Lex Luthor cartoon moments, and I forgot the bit where, like, the Flash gets body transferred into Lex Luthor's body, and he's in, like, the League of Evil supervillains. And he goes to the bathroom, and another villain asks him, are you going to wash your hands? And Flash just goes, no, because I'm evil. And Lex Luthor and all the guys there just go,
You gonna wash your hands? No, because I'm evil.
that one moment has got more character building than anything in that entire series. Because you just look at that and go, the fact that the other guy looks and goes, that sounds like something Luthor would say. Well, yeah, Jesse Eisenberg was meant to play Jimmy Olsen. And the story goes that that was the original casting. And would you like to guess what the casting for Lex Luthor was going to be then? And I'll give you another clue for this one. It was a guy who was quite famous at the time for playing a bald megalomaniac.
Bryan Cranston.
Instantly.
He was supposed to be Bryan Cranston according to industry rumours. So we would have had Bryan Cranston, Lex Luthor. We'd have had Jimmy Olsen, played by Jesse Eisenberg. And then at some point, Zack Snyder just said, wouldn't it be great if we made Eisenberg Lex Luthor? Wouldn't that be interesting? To which everyone's like, no.
Genuinely angry. Bryan Cranston would have been great.
He would have been a great Jimmy Olsen.
The story behind how Jesse Eisenberg became Lex Luthor, like, he was initially approached to be Jimmy Olsen, as I mentioned, but he turned it down. And according to him, like, when he asked why, I was like, wait, why'd you turn that role down? So, well, Snyder came in and he told me about how the scene would be shot, and he told me about, like, his vision for it, but he didn't tell me anything about the character's motivations, which is like the most Zack Snyder thing I've ever heard. Like, he doesn't have any idea what the character's motivations are, and they don't matter. It's only about how the scene looks. And the idea would be that he would come in, introduce himself as Jimmy Olsen, and then get shot in the face. And the only reason he wanted to do that is because he said it would be shocking to the audience. Like, yeah, it would be. You don't expect it, so it's good. That's how movie making works. If you don't expect it, it's good. When asked later, well, why did you want to kill Jimmy Olsen? Like, did you not want to bring him back? He's pretty important to the Superman mythos. He went because I could. And again, I don't think anything sums up like the fact he's got that iron-fisted stranglehold on the universe, or he did at the time, of like, well, I can do what I want, so I'm going to kill Superman's best friend, and there's nothing you can do about it. I'm going to shoot him in the face. Fuck you. Guys, why are we all in the office? Why are we all here? It's
Yeah,
like...
why are we here?
So we should do
Nisha's just like, why the fuck did you make me work on a Sunday?
Why are we
It's a
here?
Sunday.
Why are we here?
We just done a 10-hour stream.
We did, yes. And why did we do a 10-hour stream?
Chill first.
To get
Chill
paid.
first!
Shillfest 2022. And that's because, lovely viewer at home, Fiend is not doing well. The big wanger's coffers are looking mighty anemic at the moment. So we are shilling the fuck out of our new Patreon, which is funding a second channel, which is called Untitled Side Channel. I picked the name. if you can't guess. And here's like some artwork from it, which I also commissioned. And yeah, it's going to be full of fresh new content from all the voices behind the scenes.
And we won't be behind the scenes so much.
Yeah, so you'll be in front of the camera. It means I can finally take a break.
Yeah, people keep saying that they want to see us on camera, so like, fucking go and watch that content, I guess.
There you go. A bunch of fresh new content from everybody here and a Patreon that you can support to continue funding it. And in keeping with all things Fact Fiend and the transparency we so value, all money from that Patreon gets split evenly 4 ways between everybody involved with the channel. Myself, Brad.
Hello.
Nisha.
Hello.
And Lucas.
Hi.
There's always
There's
one.
always one. Oh, but with that out of the way, fuck that Snyderverse.
I don't get why people are so enamored with Snyder's version of the film.
Because it's dark.
You just don't understand it, guys.
There's a friend of ours who summed it up very well of like, if you've not swam in the ocean, a paddling pool feels deep. It's that. It's like, the way I describe it is, it's the first movie that has symbolism so ham-fisted, stupid people understand it. And as a result, they don't think any other movie is as deep as that one because it has symbolism that's more than surface level, which they don't understand, and therefore they think it does not exist. Like all the stuff with like the Jesus allegories and like, you know, T-posing in space, and then all the stuff about him, like, you know, the one that you always sing like, it's like, oh, Luther puts the poster upside down. It's like, oh, it's so dark. Like, one of my favourite reviews of anything he's ever done is a review of the trailer for Justice League, where it says, the trailer for Justice League, I think it's Red Letter Media say this, the trailer for Justice League features the song Come Together, which works on many levels, mainly one. And that's it. It's just, he picks the lyrics for the song because the lyrics describe what's happening on screen, and something that happened with the Dawn of the Dead movie he made.
Zombie.
Yeah, he used the song Zombie by the Cranberries, which is not about zombies. It's not literally about zombies, it's about, I think, like, the war in Ireland.
I read one tweet
One.
about the Snyderverse. All I get now on my Twitter feed are things about DC and the Snyderverse.
Yes.
So I keep seeing these things. Like the most recent one, fittingly for this video, since we talked about Lex Luthor, somebody put up a screenshot of someone trying to argue, saying, if you don't like Jesse Eisenberg's Lex, it's because you haven't read the comics.
So I have read the comics, that's why I don't like it. I've also seen the cartoon where we've got, like, Clancy Brown, Lex Luthor, who's the best version of that character, hamming it the fuck up.
Michael Rosenbaum.
He's a good one.
He's a good young Lex.
He's a good young Lex. But he's not Clancy Brown. He's not, because I'm evil. He's not the one who gave this speech about, do you have any idea how much power I'd have to give up to become president? That's not a line I can ever see being uttered by Jesse Eisenberg. He'd have been better playing the Riddler. Joey's caper of like pissing in a jar and leaving it as a clue, that's a very Riddler move. It's not a very Lex Luthor move. Like, Lex Luthor should have just bought Superman's company and fired him. That's the Lex Luthor move.
Even if somebody else was cast as Lex, though, the plan that Lex has in that film is absolute horse shit.
Put a bomb in a guy's wheelchair.
But it starts with, let's say Superman killed all these people, but we're going to shoot them all. Like, a basic forensic investigator could go, well, there's a bullet there.
We all know that Superman uses a gun,
That's
right?
like, do you know that invincible man who can saw a skyscraper in half with his eyes? I bet he needs to use a gun.
I think in the, because someone's going to say this, like, there's going to be a Snyder fan.
In the extended cut, this happens.
In the extended cut, there's a bit where they pile the bodies together and burn them, I think.
But they
So
still
it's-
got shot.
There's still bullets in the corpses, etc. There's going to be like bone fragments that have been broken by bullets. But even so,
they were broken by Superman punching them.
Superman's bullet eyes.
That's one of my favourite ones. We're going to frame Superman by shooting people. It's like, really? That'd be a good way to like frame Batman, I guess, in that universe, because he just uses guns all the time. He just shoots people just straight up.
Yeah, he just straight up like blows up cars with people in them and shit. It's like, well,
And I think we've mentioned another time before of like Snyder's defense for that is, well, in the Michael Keaton Batman movies, Batman kills people all the time. And I'd argue that, yeah, okay, he does. Here's footage of Michael Keaton Batman. Those movies are a very exaggerated version of reality. They are almost like, you could say, comic books come to life. Like, they are so exaggerated that I think that you could use the George of the Jungle defense for that of nobody really got hurt. Because they're so cartoonish in the way, like, when he like burns the guy with a Batmobile, or the guy has like the comically large bomb on his chest and Batman pushes him down a well. It's like, we don't see him die. So in my head, like, he just he comes back in the next scene with like a cast on or something.
Well, it's like slapstick. You imagine him like he'll cut to him at the bottom of the well, and he'll be covered in like the black bird mark.
It's like the George of the Jungle Tech. Of like that universe is so heightened beyond like reality that I don't think anyone in that movie dies, and that's really funny because that means Zack Snyder can't tell the difference between the tone of that movie and the tone of his. He can't tell that there's a difference in tone between like Michael Keaton Batman being like, I'm Batman and pushing a guy down a well, than Batman just viciously running people over in a tank. The tone of those movies is very exaggerated, very cartoonish, like almost comic book like. But Snyder sees it and goes, well, he kills people there. He goes, they're not the same thing.
So my Batman should brand people for beatings in prison.
I also love as well, like the thing about him using guns. I thought, well, some versions of Batman use guns. It's like, well, the version that Snyder's taken his inspiration from is The Dark Knight Returns, where they literally have a moment in the comic where Batman snaps a gun in half and says, we do not use these. These are the weapons of our enemy. And then you just smash cut to the exact, like, a version of Batman Snyder wearing that outfit with a machine gun. That these are the weapons of our enemy.
It's quite on brand that the video topic we've chosen when we're plugging our side channel is one that's going to get... The comment section is not going to be anyone saying, love your new channel.
No.
Yeah, we're making many enemies.
And it would not surprise me, although we're going to do an entire Fact Fiend Out of Focus shitting on this universe because it sucks ass.